Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, and to the delegates already here for the start of tomorrow's platform committee meetings, we say welcome to Cleveland. Of course, the big show gets underway a week from tomorrow, and as we get ready, hearts remain heavy here and across the country. In light of last week's deadly police shootings in Dallas, security remains a major concern for the Republican National Convention. I spoke this week with Governor John Kosich, who met recently with the Secret Service to go over their security plans. He will be here in Cleveland the week at the convention as head of the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the National Guard. I asked him about his concerns.
Well, my greatest concern are outside agitators. I mean, these are professional people who show up places just for the express purpose of causing trouble. And I think, look, you never want to predict. The perimeter appears to be, I'm not a security expert, but talking to the security experts, it's going to be, you're going to be very secure. Outside the perimeter, just outside and then farther outside are areas that, you really would be concerned about. But, they're taking lots of steps in lots of different ways.
Okay, so help Cleveland land the Republican National Convention because of his $10 million commitment from Jobs Ohio. Still, he will not be at the convention itself because of his failure to endorse the nominee in Donald Trump. In his first television interview in Cleveland, so suspending his campaign, we talked about that this week. Is there anything at this point that he could say that could win over your endorsement? Or
before the convention?
Before the convention?
No, I don't see what it would be. It's just too much, as I told him when we talked, we're like two companies, different values, different vision, different operations, kind of hard to merge. And but look, I'm a very, very happy guy. I had a great time. People say, well, have you adjusted? I didn't really even take any time really to adjust. I mean, it was just fine.
In 2012, when we had the roll call of the states, you were the one that stood at the mic and pledged Ohio's delegates.
Yeah, I won't be doing that this time.
But those delegates will remain pledged to you, though.
Yeah,
for that
I think
first
so.
ballot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know how all that's going to work. Look, I'm not up here to disrupt.
I was going to say, what's your message to the other 2,400 delegates?
I don't have any message to them. I mean, really. I mean, somebody asked me what I thought about, should they be bound or should be able to vote their conscience? I said, I think they should be able to vote their conscience. I mean, if I were a delegate, that's the way I would feel. But that's a decision for them to make.
Isn't there a loss for the party in not having you stand on that convention floor, on the podium, and say that bridge out there would not have been built right now, were it not for looking at things differently, and highlighting the accomplishments that are around the delegates in the city?
Well, look, this convention is Donald Trump's convention. And if I'm going to show up at the convention and I'm not going to be saying all these great things about the host, then I think it's inappropriate for me to kind of go in there. I don't think that's the right thing to do. It doesn't feel right to me inside. And, I still hold out hope that maybe we'll have a Damascus Road experience. People don't know what that is, but that's when Saul, the persecutor of Christians, got knocked off his donkey and became Paul and wrote 3/4 of the New Testament. I'm still waiting for that Damascus Road experience. If it doesn't come, then I probably will not find my way towards endorsing.
Because of the groundwork is laid when you look at a state like New Hampshire. I think you probably met 2/3 of the people out there over the course of those town halls. Would you consider another run?
Well, that's like asking somebody once they finish a marathon, meet them at the finish line, say, you're going to run another one? I'm not shutting my political operation down. I'm not going to close any doors. I'm not making any final decisions. So my focus now is being, really ramping up this job as governor. I'm going to travel the country for candidates for the House and the Senate. I am really exciting. I'm about ready to go to New York in the next couple of weeks to sell another book, which I'm going to write about the country through the prism of my campaign. And, I'm home a lot. It's good and bad. I think my daughters wish that and my wife probably wish I would go on the road a little bit more. But, everything is good.
Everything good at Quicken Loans Arena as well, where the level of activity is unlike anything that has been seen since the arena opened its doors back in 1994. The 1,700 square foot television screen behind the podium on the main stage is up and being tested, where the delegations will sit on the floor, being mapped out and taped. It's the week ahead where the bulk of the transformation will be evident as the different projects come to a head.
I have a feeling when people get in here, and media folks and just workers as well, when they see the carpet go down and they see the chairs go up, then it'll become really real.
The carpet is already going down across East 6th Street inside the Gateway East garage, which will be used for Media Row. When Cleveland bid for the 2008 RNC, they proposed housing the media in the Higbee building before it became the Horseshoe, now Jack Casino. It was one of the areas where they fell short that year. In its critique, it was recommended if they were to bid again in the future, they consider the Gateway East garage, so they included it in their proposal. This is the result. The partitions will go up and the media outlets from all over the world will build out their space.
You'll have everyone here. You'll have all your major networks. You'll have bloggers, you'll have social, radio, everything. And so this is almost like a one-stop shop.
Convention organizers originally looked at the new convention center to handle all the media space needs, but decided to bring at least this aspect over to the Q, which will aid in supplying the media with guests. It's taken 2 weeks to get to this point, with at least another week of work ahead. As for post-convention,
I think a teardown is going to take like 2 days, so it'll be pretty quick, a lot shorter.
well, that's good news for downtown workers and for Cleveland Indians fans. And along those lines, those of you arriving in town who want to take in the First Place Tribe, today's your last chance to do so before they hit the road for 16 days. 1:10 the first pitch. With Democracy 2016, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday.